Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is a quick preview and prediction for a fight in which I'm really looking forward to. Goes down on the 30th of November, takes place in Birmingham, England that is, and it goes down on DAZN. And that fight is Sunny Edwards versus Galal Yafai. WBC flyweight, the interim WBC flyweight title will be on the line. And ever since this fight was made, I'll be honest, I've been struggling to pick a winner. And I still feel that way now, so when I make my pick, it's kind of an unconfident pick, to tell you the truth. But that to me means it's a good fight. That to me means it's an interesting fight. You look at these two guys. Sunny Edwards is the quote-unquote pure boxer here, whereas Galal Yafai is the come-forward aggressor, the pressure fighter who likes to work the body, who likes to get up close and do his thing. You know, he'll try and drown you in volume and aggression, whereas Edwards likes to box off a back foot, as we know. Going in, obviously, there's a big experience gap in terms of the pros. Sunny Edwards has a record of 21 wins, 1 defeat, 0 draws. Had multiple world title fights, fought the likes of, obviously, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, where he lost, but put up a pretty good effort. Even beaten guys like Felix Alvarado, Murati Mafalane, guys like that, you know. He's beaten some decent guys in his career, and he's fought at a much higher level and had many more fights than Galal Yafai, as a pro that is. And that is one big talking point going into this fight. One of the big talking points is whether Galal Yafai can make the step up to world level, because Sunny Edwards is world level. I think he's shown that in his career. I don't think he's the strongest of world level fighters, but he's a world level talent. And can Galal Yafai bridge that gap? He's only had 8 fights as a pro. He's relatively old for a flyweight, turning over. He turned over late 20s, he's 31 now. He's amassed a record of 8-0, 6 of those 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Of course, Galal Yafai is best known for his amateur career, where he won a gold medal in the flyweight division back in 2021. And off the back of that, he's turned pro, had 8 fights. In some fights, he's looked pretty good. Other fights, he's looked a little one-dimensional, I would say. Most notably against Gohan Rodriguez Garcia back in 2022, but that was only his 3rd fight. Kind of struggled a little bit in that fight. And same thing against Rocco Santamaro back end of last year. I feel like at times in his career, when his A game is not super effective, he doesn't really have a plan B or a plan C. He's kind of one of those workman-like fighters who does the same thing over and over and hopes to grind you down. But I've not seen the adjustments from Galal Yafai to suggest that he will become a long-reigning, dominant champion or anything like that. But what he does pretty well. He's fit, he's strong. He's not the biggest puncher in the world, but he throws enough punches, and he punches hard enough for them to have a cumulative effect, I guess I'd say. He's one of those sort of guys. He kind of grinds you down. He's very workmanlike, and he's pretty consistent in his approach. Now, like I said, I don't think that's going to lend him to become like a dominant, long-reigning champion or anything like that in and around flyweight or super flyweight. But I think it could be good enough to beat certain guys in the division. The question for me is whether Sunny Edwards is one of those guys. Listen, naturally, Sunny Edwards has attributes that I think will trouble Galal Yafai. The movement, the herky-jerky movement, upper body movement, back foot boxing, the elusiveness on the back foot. You know, Galal at times is guilty of kind of coming in straight lines. He doesn't always jab his way in. He kind of leads off with power shots. And I think for a guy like Sunny Edwards, that may be easy to read. And Sunny may be able to offset him with a jab and make him fall in and make him reset and just pick him off from range while he's moving. So I do think Galal needs to be a bit more cute coming forwards. You know, not trying to just apply crash bang wallop kind of pressure, but be a little more educated. He fights out of that southpaw stance. I want to see a more active jab from Galal Yafai while he's applying that pressure, mixing it from body to head, showing Sunny different levels with that lead southpaw jab, but also feint off that jab. You know, Sunny when he's on his bike is, dare I say, a little negative, try and draw the lead of Sonny Edwards, because this is one thing that Galal doesn't do enough, because he is relatively quick. He's got decent enough hand speed and he's got decent enough power. I want to see him be more dynamic with his offense in terms of pressure. So like I say, draw the lead and try and counter. I think he's got the speed to do that. I know Sonny's quick, but Sonny, when he leads off, man, he's kind of loose. Very often his hands are quite low. He likes that jab to the body. If you can draw that shot, then it's for right hook, for Galal Yafai, or the lead uppercut, right uppercut. Those shots are there for him. Like, Sonny can be countered. He can be countered. I think Sonny's defensive ability, and I've talked about it here, he is good defensively when he's moving on the back foot. But as soon as he engages, he's not actually that great defensively, in my opinion. I think he loses shape very easily. We saw that in the Bam Rodriguez fight. When he actually stands his ground a little bit, when he throws his own shots, he loses his shape quite easily, and he gets tagged up. And the thing about Sonny Edwards and his movement, which is effective when he does it, because he likes to flick that jab, stay moving back, he'll momentarily set his feet, throw a 1-2 and scoot out and reset and go again. When he's doing that, when he's in that flow state, he is kind of hard to pin down, he is kind of hard to hit. But in every Sonny Edwards fight, even the fights he's won, he's got this horrible habit of sitting on the ropes. I don't know whether he does it because he feels confident. I don't know whether he does it because he feels he can't move for 12 rounds like that. Whatever the reason is, every single fight, this guy likes to rest on the ropes. Look at when he does that. He gets tagged up, especially to the body. We saw that in the fight before Jesse Rodriguez. It was against a guy from Chile, I think. Andres Campos. Campos was having a lot of success in that fight. The scorecards don't really reflect it, but Campos was getting work off when Sonny was stationary. And Campos, tough dude, but he's certainly not an elite level fighter, and he was able to tag Sonny quite repetitively throughout that fight. Even before then, the Felix Alvarado fight. Alvarado, as soon as Sonny was stationary, he got his work off. Same with Mohamed Wazim as well. In all of Sonny's recent fights, and in all of his fights at world level, he's had this habit. And guys have won rounds because of it. And I think that could be a big factor in this fight. Is when Sonny decides to get off his bike and lays against the ropes. Because Sonny will try and kind of dip and roll and parry shots and things like that. And he'll try and counter. And he gets some shots off, don't get me wrong. He can roll a little bit with shots, but a lot of shots get through. A lot of shots get through. And when you're fighting a stronger, bigger man like Yafai, who can put his shots together, when you're stationary, that could be a problem for Sonny Edwards in this bout. That could be a problem for Sonny Edwards. When he is stationary, Yafai can get work off, he can go to the body, he can land damaging punches, and as the fight plays out, it's going to be harder and harder for Sonny to then get back on his bike because of the damage sustained. But I look at that flaw in Sonny's game, and I can't see past it going into this fight. I have to be honest. He's got away with it at a certain level, you know, against guys like Campos, against guys like Wasim, against guys like Alvarado, who are all good fighters. But we saw what happened when he stepped up against Jesse Rodriguez. Now, I'm not saying Galal is anywhere near that level, because I don't think he is. But he's big, he's strong, he's focused, he's hungry. Sonny's been at the top of a mountain, whereas Galal wants to get there. And I think he may want it more. Plus, he's 31, so he can't afford to lose this fight. You know, at flyweight. If he's losing to Sonny Edwards, then it's a repackaging job at 31 at flyweight. You know, are people really going to be interested? Probably not. He needs to win this fight. And I would guess that he's the more hungry of the two fighters. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Sonny can't win this fight, right? Like I said before, he's more experienced, he's been at a higher level. He does have attributes that should trouble Galal Yafai. I just worry that he can't do it consistently. I just worry that he can't do it over 12 rounds. Maybe he can. He's changed trainer. That's another aspect going into this fight I haven't mentioned. I think he's trained now by Chris Williams, based out of Liverpool. So we'll see how that works out. You know, I liked the work Grant Smith did with Sonny Edwards, so it was kind of surprising for me to see him change trainer, but yeah, we'll see how that pans out as well. But sometimes you look at fights, right, and I see everybody pick, or not everybody, but most people picking Sonny Edwards to win. I think Sonny Edwards is the bookie's favourite, and I can see why. But sometimes you just get feelings about fights, you know, that kind of go beyond trying to break it down. And very often I feel like your gut feeling, or my gut feeling when it comes to fights, is very often correct. And when I go against my gut feeling, I end up being wrong. Maybe I'll have egg on my face again here, but I'm going to go with Galal Yafai to win this fight. I'm going to go with Galal Yafai to win. Either a close, competitive, but clear points win, or Galal Yafai late stoppage. That's what I'm thinking right now. I just feel he's going to outwork Sonny Edwards, drag him into a bit of a fight, and ultimately win the day. It's a good fight, though. It's a really good fight. And I have to say the undercard isn't half bad either. A pretty strong domestic card overall in Birmingham. You have Kieran Conway fighting Ryan Kelly for the Commonwealth middleweight title. Decent fight. Cameron Vong is stepping up against Gavin Gwynn. Interesting. Pick of the bunch on the undercard for me is Conor Walker versus Lewis Ritson at welterweight. That's just going to be a barn burner. Lewis Ritson is the bigger name. You know, he's fought at a decent level. European level at 135. World title eliminators at 140. But he's come up short. Conor Walker's been a very tough guy on the domestic scene. Beat Cyrus Pattinson. Had a very close fight with Lewis Crocker. I expect Conor Walker to win that fight. He's more natural at the weight class. Lewis Ritson, in my opinion, has seen better days. I think he'll knock out Lewis Ritson, but I think that's going to be a barn burner for as long as it lasts. And also deep on the undercard, you have Troy Jones fighting Michael Stevenson for the English light heavyweight title. Have to confess, don't really know too much about those dudes, but you know, English title fight. And you also have the return of Callum Smith, for what it's worth. He's fighting TBA, the infamous TBA. But yeah, I mean, ultimately the card is pretty good. Good main event, couple of decent fights on the undercard at domestic level. I think these are the sort of cards we've been missing recently. Frank Warren has put on a few with the Magnificent Seven cards, but I feel the domestic scene, since Saudi Arabia's involvement in boxing, has taken a nosedive. For me, that's like the main, I guess, negative of Saudi's involvement. Overall, I think it's been positive, but that's probably one of the drawbacks from a UK boxing perspective. Some of the UK cards haven't been as strong. But yeah, overall, good card. I like it. But yeah, I've got Galal Yafai defeating Sonny Edwards, either close-ish on points but clear, or late stoppage. That's what I'm feeling right now. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Been your guy, Delboy. Peace.